Hello everybody. In this video I kind of focused on the engine for the Metro convertible. The only thing it's missing is exhaust manifold and a couple other small things, and it'd be ready to put back in. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. That intake is the one off the convertible. You can kind of see it from here. It's got an EGR valve. It's got this little thing here. It's got all kinds of extra brackets and vacuum lines and stuff that controls the EGR valve. And this intake doesn't have it. So me running this style intake will simplify the engine, which is what I'm trying to do. I was going to try to take parts off this throttle body and put it on that one, and then put that throttle body on this intake. And that throttle body's junk. I could use it if I had to, but that's a water port right here, and it's cracked on that one. So I'm going to try to run that one. Around 95 or so would have been the last time that engine ran. So. And it's been getting wet for the last couple years, so here's fingers crossed that will make a full recovery and start running again. It had this one, and if you pay attention to this one, those teeth are round. See how the belt's got square shoulders on the teeth. See how the gear has square shoulders. See how that gear has square shoulders. Somebody had put a head on that at one time. There's nothing wrong with running a newer head, but they didn't change the cam gear. And the entire time that I can remember this car running, it had a very loud timing belt. That was because they were running the belt so tight to try to keep it from slipping. When the real problem was it had the wrong cam gear. There wasn't nothing wrong with the belt, but I do need to get a new idler tensioner. It's bad. Okay, so I believe the last part of this video was me saying that it needed a new idler pulley. I'll show you that when it comes in, but I did order one. I didn't roll that on camera, but it just sounds terrible. It might not have been that bad when it was parked, but I say it probably was. It looks like an original. It still turns easy. It just has a really couple bad rough spots in it. So, I have taken the nuts off of the valve cover because that engine had a glove stuck in the oil cap for a long time because we used the oil cap for something else. And when I pulled it out, there was a little bit of rat poop got down in it. So I thought I'd take it off and look at it to see how it looks. I really wasn't expecting that to be as clean as it is, considering how bad the outside of the motor looks. But I sometimes forget that engine didn't look that bad back when we got that car. Block did, but the head was pretty clean. Set in 5 years will corrode the shit out of something. It had a little bit of poop down in it, and it still does some, but I cleaned out what I could. I don't want to go any further than that. Ideally, I would take the oil pan off and get some kerosene or diesel and pour it through the motor to try to wash out everything. But I think I'll just stick it back together and make sure it's full of oil, get it running, get it hot once, and drain it. And whatever it is what it is at that point. I honestly expected the entire engine to look like this. This also shows me that the cam gear's in time to the cam. I had a little bit of doubts on that because the cam's a 95. So I didn't know for sure that the cam gear was going to be the same, because there could have been something different with the dowel pin. However, the reason I know that sometime is I could check it if I wanted to, but number one's intake and exhaust lobes are both flat, meaning where it is right now it's firing number one. There really isn't a way to mess this up. I can't tell you how many times I've seen somebody take an engine, put a timing belt on it, and turn it, and they don't turn it 2 turns. If you turn a crankshaft once, the cam's only going to turn half a turn. If you turn the crankshaft twice, the cam's going to turn 1 turn. So if you put a timing belt on something and you turn the crank once and line that mark back up, the cam's not going to be lined up with the mark it was before. That doesn't mean that it's not in time, because if you turn the crank 1 more turn, the cam's going to be lined back up where it was, and the crank's going to be lined back up where it was. This one happens to be firing number 1 right now, so if I wanted to, I could put the distributor in it and line it up with number 1, and that would be in time. So, cam looks fine, lifters look fine. Engine. I've ordered a new timing belt pulley, so that'll be in soon, and then I'll show you us putting that together. That'll probably be in the next video, and I'm going to clean this up and put the valve cover back on. Okay, put it back on. Ideally, I would have probably replaced the valve cover gasket. I didn't, and I took a smear of gray RTV and put on it. It'll be all right. There's a complete, mostly, engine and transmission for a Metro convertible in my little shed. That probably only weighs about 300 pounds on a soaking wet, you know, so it's not that much. I doubt it weighs that much, honestly. You can pick up an engine by itself, and you can pick up a transmission with one hand. I say a stout person could probably pick that up. I probably could, but I'm not going to. You can walk it around pretty easy. So I'll scoot it near the door and use the truck to pick it up. But the next video will be replacing that pulley. And I'm going to show you how to time one of these. That's easy, but maybe it might help somebody. And the exhaust manifold. The exhaust manifold is going to be a little bit of fun because, well, it broke every bolt and every stud except those 2. I might pull those out too and replace them. When it hit the light pole, the radiator support ran back in here, and you can see here that the oil filter got hit by the manifold. I would normally change that just because it's a Fram, and I've seen these randomly blow a hole through them on about 3 occasions now. They're too thin, and especially when you put a dent in them, it would start leaking right in here somewhere. But it's still good enough for me to let it run 30 minutes on it, and then drain the oil and change the filter. I would have to do that either way, and at least not changing it up front would not be wasting a new filter. The engine, for some reason, it didn't when I first started messing with it, but now when you spin it over with a wrench, it acts like it's only got one good cylinder. I'm going to guess that some lifters went down. You know, it sat for a long time without running, and then I was turning it over. So I'm guessing that a couple of the lifters went down. We'll see. That, and I had to add 2 quarts of oil to it. And it don't seem to be leaking anywhere. But in the next video, we'll do a recap on this stuff, and I'll show you more.